Welcome back everybody, Kaido here. Today I'll be bringing you the newly released SH Figuarts figure from the One Piece line, Kaido, the King of the Beast Pirates, also known as the strongest creature in the world of One Piece, and the former Emperor of the Sea, along with Big Mom. I did say during the Yamato review that I would try my best to put my hands on the new Kaido figure, and so I did. It costed an arm and a leg, plus the shipping cost, which was about $80, but it's here right in front of you, and I couldn't be happier personally speaking. I would like to apologize about the glare first and foremost, because there isn't really much I can do about it due to my setup, because this box right here is huge. My setup is a bit wonky, and the only way for me to even capture the entirety of the box is for me to zoom out as much as possible so you guys can take a closer look at it. I do want to compare right away how it looks with a normal SH Figuarts box and a mid SH Figuarts box, if you will, from the same line. As you guys always know, here is Zoro. Look at how tall and wide it is in comparison to Zoro. This size is ridiculous. I really wasn't expecting to be this tall and this wide. And here is Yamato, which was already a much bigger box than Zoro during the review. And as you can see, if I put it right here and I put Yamato right in the middle, you can fit another whole box right here. If all the boxes were about the same size as Zoro, you could fit one right here, one box on top of the other, six boxes to cover this Kaido box, which is insane to me, personally speaking. I really, like I said, did not expect it to be this big. But when I got the Amy box, I was really surprised. And no wonder I paid $80 on shipping, because this guy right here is huge. Guys, with this review right here, I would like to be as honest as possible, because I know how much this figure costs. And also, if you plan to buy it from an international website like Amy, I know that the shipping is gonna go crazy. So I don't want to give you guys any false hope or any lies about how the figure is or how the box is and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna be as honest as possible. I just got home, opened up the Amy box, set everything up, and here is the review. I haven't checked any other videos, so this is going to be my 100% honest review. As I mentioned previously, this box right here is massive. Just like I talk about in my other reviews, if you like to display or store the figure, you're going to have a really hard time or a really good time depending on the type of collector you are. If you like to display the boxes, this is a beautiful centerpiece. You can put all of the other SH Figuarts One Piece line boxes right here. It will still show the character at the top. It will look really nice given the colors and given the sheer size. But if you just like to store the boxes, this one right here is going to take a really large amount of space. With that being said though, Kaido's box is just like all of the other One Piece boxes, just huge in scale. But you have a picture of the figure on the right hand side right here, which is beautiful, by the way. The position, the facial expression and everything, I really enjoyed that. He has the SH Figuarts logo, he has his name right here, Kaido, King of the Beast Pirates, which is the name of his pirate crew, and his Men Beast form, also known as a hybrid form if you read the manga or if you watch the anime. With that being said though, here is the figure in all of its glory. It looks huge just by looking at it throughout the box. The box is also really heavy, if I may say so myself, but which is a nice thing because I feel like the figure is going to be really hefty. And given the price, I think that's really nice of them to do that. Here's the One Piece logo at the top, the Bandai and the Tamashii Nation logos right here as well. I won't be able to show you the sides because of how huge the box is, but from what I could see, it's basically like all of the other One Piece boxes. Right here in the back, you have the different positions, the different face plates, plus the DLC Luffy face that comes with all the other One Piece figures. He also has all of this Japanese writing on it, but like I said, this figure was important from Amy, and I have no idea what it says. I could read the English, but that's too much to do, so let's jump right back into the figure. Guys, with the figure out of the box, I do have to say a couple of things. Number one, this is, bar none, the heaviest figure I have ever lifted in my whole entire life. It felt like I was lifting a dumbbell, like a 20-pound dumbbell. I was genuinely sweating putting this figure together. Off the box, he comes without his mustache right here. He comes without the cape. The cape comes into four different parts, that you have to plug in together into one of the main parts. It comes with the tail detached as well, and then you have to put everything together. The cape by itself is heavy. The figure, it's everything. I'm at a loss for words. Everything about this figure is heavy. This figure, the structure alone of the figure shows why it was worth about $170, because the make of this figure is heavy. It feels like you're lifting a heavy figure with a lot of plastic and some metal parts, which is this chain right here. This chain seems to be die cast. I'm pretty sure you guys can hear this right here. The spikes are mostly, I would say, a soft plastic. It pokes, but nothing that bad. But if you look at right here closely, he has a metal ring over here for the joint. A lot of his joints are built like that. But I'm not talking about joints right now. I'm just talking about the figure. Regardless, once again, I do have to say this figure, it's super heavy. And even to put the stand to lift the figure up and to hold the figure together, I'm pretty sure the figure can hold itself without the stand, but I'm just putting the stand just because I don't want this figure to tip over or anything like that. This figure is super, super, super heavy. It was the hardest thing for me to put this figure together. Like I said, I was genuinely sweating. But besides that, this figure looks fucking amazing. I have nothing else to say besides that. This figure looks amazing. The scales, the scar, the muscle, the horns, the collar palette, literally everything about it. But I'm moving closer real soon. But beforehand, I would like to do some height comparisons. This is how Yamato looks right next to Kaido. And this is how Zoro looks right next to them. I think this is the best way I can put them side by side. If I'm not mistaken, Kaido is about like 26 to 28 feet tall. Yamato is like about 8-ish. And then Zoro is about 5'10", probably 5'8", 5'10". And I'm pretty sure this scale right here is pretty good. There's a really big jump difference between Zoro to Yamato to Kaido, which I think it's perfect. I like the way they did it. It's really, really good. So I'm going to take him out of here just so I can continue with the detail. So now, please, if this is a little difficult, I do apologize because of how heavy this figure is. Let's zoom in on this car first and foremost. Look at this. Like, by putting my hand over here, I can hear that the inside is pretty hollow, which is, I don't think it's personally a bad thing. This car is a little bit recessed into the plastic, and it feels like the chest was done, and then this car was molded into it in a different piece. And I also like, for anime lore purposes, that it's an X car, because this is right after Zoro cuts on top of Oden's cut. So he gives Kaido's this X right here. So it's right after Zoro hits him with the Deadman's game. I think that's the name of the attack, the Deadman's game. Yeah, when he goes into Ashura mode. But regardless, I like that they put that in here. So this is right after the Zoro, when Luffy and Kaido are having their 1v1. With that being said, though, the scars also look really nice. And then they have texture to it. I can feel every single scar, which I think is really nice. The scars right here, the scales, the scales have texture to it, and I think it's really nice. The scales right here at the arm also have texture, even though they don't have this bluish color to them. They all are very well texturized. You can see that the color right here at the chest on the muscles, you can see dark highlights for the dry brushing and stuff. I really find it super nice. The belt right here also has a lot of shadow to it, which I think looks really good as well. The pants are very basic. There's not much going on for the pants. It just looks like regular green plastic, which it's okay given the other parts of the figure. The chains look like this. They're very shiny. The foot and the leg also has the scales on it. Very texturized. Really nice. I dig it a lot. Okay. Now moving back. Oh, this part's gonna be awful. Okay. When it comes to the face, as you guys can see, the teeth are very well detailed. The beard is also very well detailed. The horn, the difference between the normal color all the way to the blue at the top is really, really nice detail. The eyes are in there as well. I don't know how they did it. There's not a single smudge on the eye. The eye is perfectly colored in. I don't know how they did it, but they did a really, really good job with that. Now, turning the figure around. Like I said, I apologize, it's really heavy. This is how the tail looks. I'll show the tail up closer doing the accessories. The tail looks like this. It has a little fur thing at the end of it. And then it has the same scale pattern as the body with the yellow at the bottom. Right here at the back, you can see the cape. You can move the cape, but it's really hard, and I feel like I'm going to shake everything if I start moving it. Give you my setup, but this is how the hair looks. Is the basic black Kaido hair. These parts right here are really hard, so they're not going to flow out of place or they're not going to fall off, which I think is really nice. And I'm glad I did that. This is the first main problem I've seen with the figure. The face. falls very easily. As soon as I pull this out of the box, it just fell out of him. It's not the usual peg to clip the face into. It's this weird peg that I will show you during the articulation part of it. No, during the articulation, but the accessory, I'll tell you how it looks. But it's neither here nor there. I'm going to pause real quick just to take off the cape to show you how the back looks. Just give me a second. Okay, so this is how the back looks without the cape, excuse me. It's very plain, but I'm pretty sure all of us are going to have the cape on him at all times. So that looks really nice with the cape on. Without it, like I said, the texture is there, but there's no color. Just here at the very top, I don't know if you guys can see it, it has the blue accents, which I like the fact that they did that, even though it's going to be hidden most of the time. The face just fell one more time. Like I said, that's an issue. It has the hair going over here and the blue scales right here at the top, which is in key areas because I'm pretty sure that's how he was on the anime as well. That's where the blue scale color was at. And basically, that's Kaido, just how the figure looks without the articulation. I have to say, this is as close as any figure company would get from Kaido. I didn't expect him to look like this. Like I said, I have no idea how the articulation is going to look like. I hope it doesn't disappoint me too much. I don't have high expectations of it, but I expect it to pose at least in some nice poses that I can put into, some fighting poses, some standard poses. But we'll talk about it during the articulation and hear how he basically looks. All right, when it comes to the articulation, this is 100% my first take. I haven't done absolutely anything to the figure, haven't lifted his arm. I just literally put the cape, put the beard on, and the tail, and that's about it. So this is going to be our first hands-on experience. We can start with the arm. So the arm seems to lift only about this much because this part of the arm right here kind of scrapes with the top. And then all of this is kind of a hollow plastic. And as you can see, like I said, I did see not any videos on Kaido, but I seen a video on Ozaru form Vegeta during the Saiyan saga, and he had a lot of this right here, a lot of empty space. But at the very least, Kaido is basically not hollow right here. You can't see the inside of the figure at all. All you basically see is just a hollow gap right here at the top of the shoulder, at the bottom of the shoulder, excuse me, which kind of shows the really big ball peg, not ball peg, excuse me, ball hinge, which is about the same color as a figure, which is not really that bad. And like I said, I'm not going to be really picky about like structural detail when he's doing like action poses, because to me personally, it doesn't really mean much given the sheer size of the figure. He can put his arm forward, no problem. And it's kind of crossed already, which I think is really nice. So if this is super nice for a figure this size, he can easily, I think it's easier than even Yamato to just put his hand across his body. Like I said, I'm glad that they are learning from the previous figures like Zoro, like Luffy. Look at this. A figure this size can do this without a problem. And I think that's super awesome. If you pose them like this, it won't be any good. Like I said, I feel like it will break immersion. And then if you're really big onto aesthetics, it's not going to look good at all. But like I said, if you do it like this, it won't be a problem. And another thing I realized, it seems like you can finagle with the peg. Oh, well, it just fell off. Let me remove that. I feel like it's going to get in the way of everything. So sorry about that. You can move this kind of arm on this hinge right here, which can allow it to do a lot of different things, play around with it. And then if you want to close it together with the body, all you have to do is press onto it, and then it will kind of clap together. So that's mainly it for the shoulders. Let's see what kind of range he has on his biceps. A little better than 90, which is that right about 90? I'd say just a tad bit better than 90, which is not bad at all. He also has a bicep swivel, which I think it's really nice for a figure this size. Once again, like I said, the hand is on a ball joint, does normal ball joint things without a problem. Another thing I've realized about this figure, which I think is a plus, personally speaking, all of the hinges are really tight, super tight, which I think is good. You can always put more water, but once the hinge is already loose, it's super hard to get it to be in a acceptable state. So for the arms, that's about it. Now for the torso, I'm not expecting much, but we'll see. Whoa, he can lean down a lot, more than I expected actually, and he can look up. Whoa. Look at this. He can look up about this much, and he can look down about this much. This is a lot of range for someone his size. He can move his body left to right about this much. I'm pretty sure you can force it a little bit more, but I won't do that. The skirt is on a floating piece. As you can see, it's not hiding any ugly joints because the torso goes all the way down, which I think is nice, but it's on a floating piece. It's not going to get in the way of anything. The chains are just in there. I personally don't like this that much, but it was part of the character, so I'm not complaining about it. I just don't care enough for it because this kind of upsets me. But that's just my personal opinion on it. The legs, I don't think with what I could do to like stand the figure, I don't think you're gonna have a lot of options with the legs, given how the legs are sculpted and how top heavy he is. I feel like his legs are gonna need to be in very specific positions. But as I mentioned, well, there's like a little scratch marks right here on the side. I don't really care for it, but it's kind of a bummer. But anyway, there's die cast right here. The joints are made out of die cast, so I don't think these joints are gonna go bad anytime soon. And actually, now that I mentioned, there is a lot of plastic scratches right here on the figure, on both legs and on the inner thighs. I just noticed that right now while doing the video, but it's neither here nor there. These hinges are really nice. He can spread his legs about this far wide, which is more than I expected, if I'm going to be honest. So does he have a thigh swivel? He does have a thigh swivel. He can he stand? I'm pretty sure he, well, I don't think he can, but you can straighten his leg a lot. Let me straighten that out for you guys to see. So his legs can be straight like this, and he only bends about 90 degrees. Like I said, given how he stands on this like dragon hybrid form that he has, his knees are always like on this position right here, because that's his like natural standing pose. Yeah, he stands fairly well, even though he's heavy like this. Sorry about changing the subject so fast, but I just wanted to point it out. I was just like playing with his legs, but as long as it's in an acceptable position, as I mentioned, which is this right here with the leg bend, he will stand fine most of the times without a problem. I wonder if I look back if he would still be able to stand. Yep. As like the more back you go with the torso, I think the nicer it is for the center of gravity to stand him up, given how the legs are. But let me put him back to how, oh, he was about to fall over. You just have to play around. Like I said, this is my first time playing with the figure and playing with the figure this size for that matter. I never had any of the huge Dragon Ball figures, but going on to the foot section of it, all of his fingers are on ball pegs, so you can move them individually without a problem, spread them out any way you feel. There is a joint right here. This joint, it's extremely tight on one of the foots for me, so I'm just gonna move this one instead, which is not as tight. You can move it down like so. You can well, this part right here is on a swirl as well, on a hinge, so you can move all the way around. I'm pretty sure it's just a normal peg that you can move it around. And then this is just a regular ball peg into a ball hinge. You can move it up and down. I'm not sure if he has a ankle rocker or not. He does. It's very minimal, but he does have, oh, okay. The right side seems to be way better than the left side, but he does have a really, really, really decent ankle rocker for that matter. So I'm gonna try to stand him as much as I possibly can now that I moved them around. Oh, I almost forgot the head. Like I said, I don't expect the head to be that good, but like if I move it too much, the head is just gonna pop off. So don't worry about the head that much. I'm pretty sure you can just, let me put it back. He can look about left this much, about right this much. The hair doesn't really get in the way because you can lift the head. So he can look not the whole entire 360, but he can look to the side. And then if you switch the torso, he can look to the side without a problem, which I think is really nice. But like I said, the faceplate, it's not that well in there, but I think it's good enough. And then the beard has a little ball joint on it. I'm just gonna remove it so I can show you guys. The beard right here has a little joint that you can move around, so it's not gonna get in the way of any of his mobility. With that being said, I think that's about all. When it comes to the accessories, he has a lot of them, so let's get right into it. When it comes to the hands, he has 5 of them. 2 being specific to the face and specific to some of the accessories he used. But we can start with this. This is the hand used to hold onto his club, as you can see. This one is a relaxed, stylistic hand. This one right here with the peg, it's one of the hands that he only has it for his left hand, which is to hold the gourd that he has, that he drinks the sake from, which is this right here. I'm already going to use it to just show it off, which is very well made. And this right here is very well designed. Also, the letters are very finely printed in there, and I think it's super nice. And I'm glad that they put a little peg over here so you don't have to worry about falling once you clasp it into it. Let me see if I can do it in here. Okay, here we go. He can hold it without a problem. He only has it, like I said, for his left hand, because for his right hand, he has this one, this pointing hand right here. And finally, he has the hand that he comes in the box with, which is his fist head. So that's all for the hands. And like I mentioned, he has this 2 little beard hairs right here. They're really long. And mind you, he only comes with 2. So do not break it, do not bend it, do not do anything. Be extremely careful with it because the pegs are super small. So be careful with them. When it comes to the faces, he has 6 of them. So starting with the one from the box, which is this right here. And as I mentioned during the design, his eyes are extremely well detailed and well drawn. Actually, there's more smudges on the actual mouth with the teeth color than the actual eyes, which I think is a plus. So the other face, he has this yelling face right here. And as previously mentioned, you have to remove the bottom part of the beard, plug it into here, and then the hairs for the beard comes right here into this little peg holes. So this is his yelling face. This is his, which I think is really nice. This is the crying face. I love this face right here. He also has this grim face, which is really nice as well. He has this laughing, evil face, I guess, if you will. And finally, he has this face right here. For those that seen the anime or read the manga, you know that that's where the pointing figure comes in, where he does it like this. And then the reason why it was falling off, as you can see, this is the way the head is. It has these little pegs right here on the left and the right, and then some at the top. And it feels like it's not a super tight connection, but once you pose it and plug in the face, it won't be falling off. It's just if you pose it with the face on, it may fall apart sometimes. For the Luffy DLC face, this is the face. You guys probably seen this a lot. This is the face that Luffy makes when he gets excuse me, sorry about that. This is the face that he makes when he gets obliterated by Kaido, by the Thunder Bagua and everything, before he goes into Gear 5th when he's on the floor, dead. So this is his club, which is very similar to Yamato's, which I have right here so I can show you guys. This is the size difference. Kaido's has spikes. Yamato doesn't have spikes. And the size is huge, and this one is much heavier than this one. And this seems really well made. It's not hollow. It's pretty strong. You can drop this on the floor, and I doubt that you will break. So that's a positive. And finally, he has 2 other things, which you guys probably seen it already. Is a stand. You can plug it in here, and here, and here, and here, and here. 5 different spots. It doesn't plug in anywhere. It's just like a crotch piece holder. Very similar to the one on the Blue Eyes, but the Blue Eyes one was transparent. And here is how the cape looks. Like I said, extremely heavy. It comes into 4 different parts. This part already comes with the shoulder pads included, so you don't have to worry about that. Every part has a ball hinge into a ball joint, so you can move it around like so. I doubt it will be able to hold it for a long period of time. It's holding on right now, but as you can see, it kind of flaps. You have to make sure you get it into a nice position where it can hold itself. And here it is. All of them move perfectly well, so you won't have a problem posing in any wind pose that you want. All of this is texturized. It kind of hurts my hand to just hold on to it because it's very spiky, but as I mentioned, it's really beautiful. And he comes with all of the accessories you think he would need. Hey guys, here is Kaido in all of his glory, with his cape on, with his tail, holding his club and holding his drink. Like I said before, I said that the cape is a little bit heavy, which indeed it is. I only have problems posing the figure once the cape gets included on it. The tail actually helps with posing because he kind of lays on the tail, so that's good with posing. It kind of counterbalances the amount of weight that is coming from the cape, but otherwise, the cape itself, it's super heavy. But depending on how you pose him, you won't have a problem. Like I said, he's standing right now without the base. He's not shaking at all. I can smash on the table, smash right next to him, put air on it. He's not going to fall over or tip over in any way. So which I think is really nice. The foot and the die cast, the joints being so tight help with holding the figure together. There are times that the knees kind of bend in due to the sheer size and how heavy the figure is with the cape included. But once again, you can play around there. And then if you really want to be safe, you can put the support right here on his crotch and he will hold him perfectly fine. But other than that, I put him into the dispose right here. He looks amazing. That's basically all I can say about it. I'm so happy that we are finally getting the One Piece line we deserve. I've always been a One Piece fan. This right here feels like a One Piece channel of how much One Piece figures I have reviewed. I also have a lot more to review. I have a bunch of figures on pre-order. I have Law on pre-order. I have Kid on pre-order. I have Gear 5 on pre-order. So basically, all of the Figuarts One Piece figures, I got my hands on it, and hopefully I can get my hands on many of the other figures as well. Here is how it looks next to Yamato, just as a point of reference. So as you can see, she's super short in comparison to him, which is how he should be. You put her with the glaive, not with the glaive, excuse me, with her club as well, and she will look just like the dad. It's really nice. Like I said, I'm super happy. I couldn't be happier with how the line turned out. They've been listening to us. The articulation is on point. The details are on point. It's just perfect. And I hope, like I said, Kid with his big arms, he can stand fine. Hopefully Law can detach his cape. We'll see. But I feel like they listen to us and they're taking really good care of the line right now. And then I can't wait to see where we're going to come from here. But given a rating to this figure right here, it's a 10 out of 10. Like I said, even on this pose right here, it just looks so nice. He doesn't have to be in an attacking pose to look amazing and be the centerpiece of your One Piece collection. If you're a One Piece fan, it's a given. I know it's a pretty penny. I don't think the price is going to go down at all. I feel like once this comes out in the US, it's going to be sold out really fast because I feel like everybody wants to put their hands on it. It's expensive, yes. I think here it's $240 if you buy it on Amazon, but it's worth every penny. I also tell everybody, if you are a figure collector, bro, just buy it from Amy. Be there for all the pre-order releases, and then you'll be able to get your hands on this. And the more you pre-order, the least the shipping is gonna hit you. Like for example, I paid $80, but I bought like 6 figures. So basically the shipping evens out, and I think according to my math, I save about $150 if I were to buy everything on Amazon, and I get 3 months early. But this is not an Amy advertisement or anything like that. It's just for you guys. Like I said, if you're a fan, buy this figure. If you like big figures, buy this figure. Please support the line. I say that about every line that I like, but please do. It really means a lot, not only to me, but to other collectors and other fans of the series as well. And basically, this is how my review ends. Once again, if you have any questions, feel free to write in the comments. Sorry about the long review. I feel like a figure of this size needed a really long review to just point out as many of the things as I could. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful night, a wonderful evening, and I'll see you on my next review.